Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 3rd, African American Coaches Day. So naturally, let's look at some numbers. In the NFL, 58 to 70% of the players are black, but only 22% of head coaches are black and 19 to 22% of assistant coaches are black. In the MLB, only 8.8 to 10% of coaches are black. In U.S. soccer, 8.9% of coaches are black. The NBA is actually the only league that has made a genuine effort to diversify its coaching staff. And in the entire history of the league, the 2022-2023 season marked the first time in the league's history that there were more black than white coaches. Now, more than half of the franchise coaches are black. That's the Men's National Basketball Association, though. In the W, however, there are 0 black coaches. 0 in the WNBA, where 67% of the players self-identify as black. Diversifying is a choice. So is actively working not to do it. And now the news. Starting with an update on last week's raid on Georgia's election offices, when truckloads, literally truckloads, of ballots were taken from the offices by FBI agents. Well, it turns out that following that not amazing raid, things continued to be not amazing. Tulsi Gabbard, you remember Tulsi Gabbard, right? The Democrat? Well, Tulsi Gabbard, famously a former Democrat and for sure not a Russian spy, I'm just kidding, is she a Russian spy, is now in charge of national intelligence. She's a Russian spy. She's not in charge of the FBI. To be clear, someone in her role does not get involved in on-site criminal investigative work. This is not her job. So it was already weird that she was there. People were like, we shouldn't be taking these ballots. And also, what is this Russian spy doing here? This doesn't seem like a good idea. But to make it worse, then Tulsi used her cell phone to call President Trump. The president spoke to agents on the speakerphone, thanking them for their work. He talked to them for about a minute, and the person who gave this story to the New York Times compared the call to a coach giving an encouraging speech to their players. You know Trump, famously super encouraging. This same person made it clear that Trump ordered Tulsi to go to Atlanta for the raid and coordinated her actions with Andrew Bailey, who is in the FBI. This is incredibly, wildly, unacceptably unacceptable. For anything else, in any case, this would be bad, but for it to be about the raid of an elections office that ended with the removal of truckloads of ballots and other items? Of the raid, a White House spokesperson said, quote, President Trump pledged to secure America's elections, and he has tasked the most talented team of patriots to do just that. President Trump has full confidence in his entire team. They were already secure, though I'm sure he has confidence in this team. We shouldn't. I'm sure he does. Our elections are secure. This does the opposite. Wild, I know, that allowing an insurrectionist back into office would have these consequences, and yet, who could have seen this coming? Everyone. Everyone. He also saw this coming. That's why he was like, dope, I won. Now I wanted to go to jail. And also, I get to do this. He went onto a podcast on Monday, like, that's so hard. Spoiler alert, these are free to make. To say, I don't need to blow anyone's mind. They're free to make. Everyone's out here acting. It takes time. The feeds are free, dude. Anyway, he went on this podcast to say that the 2020 election was stolen because he is a loser who can't get over anything. Get therapy, you loser. And because of that, the Republicans should nationalize the elections. Because what's one more constitutional crisis at this point? No one knows what that means, by the way. He was like, nationalize the elections, and Republicans were like, yes, sir. Mission accomplished. This is nothing yet. So it's not time to panic. I just want to be really clear. He is saying nationalize the elections, big headlines. No one knows what that means yet, so it means it's not time to panic. It is not. It is time to dig in and make sure that every single House rep, every single senator understands that we are paying attention to this. Imagine 6 years ago you didn't get a job that everyone expected, like you're probably not going to get this job, and then later you surprised everybody and got the job, and you're still bitter. What a loser. On Sunday, Trump took a break from trying to relitigate the 2020 election. That's a big word for him. I understand he doesn't know what it means. I don't let him listen to this podcast. He tries, and I don't let him. That's a choice that I make. To announce that, I don't know what my mood is today, but it's whatever it is. On Sunday, hey, focus up. On Sunday, Trump announced that the Kennedy Center, which has seen a huge number of cancellations since he put his name on the center, he just decided to do that. Hang on. The Kennedy Center is a memorial to JFK, but it's the JFK Memorial. And then Trump was like, and it's also the Donald J. Trump Memorial as well, because that's what it reads as, the Donald J. Trump and JFK Memorial. He has no strong suits. Among those no strong suits is close reading, but come on. Anyway, so Trump announced on Sunday that he will be closing the Kennedy Center for 2 years for what I can only assume will be absolutely hideous renovations, which I assume because he took to his ironically named Truth Social to write, quote, I have determined that the Trump Kennedy Center, if temporarily closed for construction, revitalization, and complete rebuilding, can be, without question, the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world, end quote. Complete rebuilding? Uh-oh. It does sound like, however, the center will continue to fund the National Symphony Orchestra. So we do at least have that. Proving once again that literally everyone listens to this show except for Donald J. Trump, because I won't let him do it. Bill and Hillary Clinton announced on Monday that they will testify in front of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, and I'm 100% sure that it's because I said in yesterday's episode that Bill should do it, and not because of the new trove of Epstein files that show that Bill was on Epstein's plane multiple times in the early 2000s. So they are going to go speak before Congress. Who's next? Who's next? Because by no means am I minimizing how bad it is that he is in these files. It is bad. He should testify and then probably, be in jail. But he is not the only one in these files. So who will be next? Perhaps the president? Which Republican will find one little brave, just find one small little brave and say that it is wrong that the president who did pedophilia allegedly, and even if he didn't, has deep connections to someone who did, and we need to know every single thing about it. Which Republican will find just a little bit of brave about that? It is quite literally not that hard. And yet, here they are, rightfully demanding that Bill Clinton testify. This is the right thing to do. They need to rightfully demand it, but they sure are quiet little chickens when it comes to their dear leader. Do they not? Trump is so lame. This is your guy? This is the guy that you are willing to forgive pedophilia for? To quote Natalie Maines, how do you sleep at night? In Arizona, Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother has disappeared in what authorities are investigating as a crime based on what they found in her home on Sunday. Although they are not saying what they found in her home, that they are now saying this is a crime scene, they are saying that this is a crime. She was last seen Saturday night and reported missing Sunday around noon after someone from church called a family member to say that she had not arrived at church that day. 84 years old. And as the government shutdown heads into Tuesday, I'm recording this on Monday night. Who knows if a vote will happen today? That is the goal. That is the stated goal, is that it will happen today. The big hurdle is this. These 5 funding bills are good to go, but in 2 weeks they need to talk about the DHS spending bill. And so those conversations need to start happening now. because obviously the divide is dividing. You know what I mean? To that end, Kristi Noem announced on Monday that ICE agents in Minneapolis will wear body cams. Noem said this is in the interest of transparency. And then she added, also, I just like watching murders. Just ask my puppy. Well, I guess technically you can't, but my mom is going to hate that joke, I think. We take risks. I wrote it, was like, got him. It is an interesting bit of timing because she also added that agents nationwide could get body cams if the funding comes through. See? That's what they want this next batch of money for. Body cams. So innocent. Get your head out of the gutter. If Kristi Noem invites you to her home for drinks, that's one thing. Otherwise, get your head out of the gutter. In that joke, her home is a gutter. What do you want me to be nice to Kristi Noem? Hey, will these body cams always be on and unblocked? These big braves won't even show their faces. They're gonna keep their camera lenses clear? Okay. And that's it. That's the news. I'm proud of African American coaches and also industries that understand that diversity matters. It is not that hard. It is very vital, not difficult. It is, at this point, more difficult to actively choose not to do it. I'm also proud of golden retrievers because I can't be like, and more than African American coaches, and it's Golden Retrievers Day. And because you also have a great head of hair on ya, I'm proud of you.